You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 43. Kong Ming debates with the advisors of Wu. Lu Su goes against the majority opinion. When they arrive at Chai Sang, Kong Ming is given rooms in which to rest while Lu Su goes to see Sun Quan. He has just received a letter from Cao Cao, which, using the most formal imperial language of command, suggests, really almost orders, that Sun Quan join Cao Cao in attacking Xuanda. Sun Quan is uncertain what to do and, despite the forthright opinion of his advisor Zhang Zhao, who strongly supports the idea of taking up Cao Cao's offer, he remains silent. It is only when he is alone with Lu Su that he speaks, asking him what he thinks. Lu Su advises against such an alliance, and then tells him that Kong Ming has come back with him. Sun Quan is surprised and delighted. The next day Kong Ming is brought to meet some 20 of Sun Quan's advisors, led by Zhang Zhao. What follows is nothing less than an inquisition of Kong Ming by the advisors. Zhang Zhao goes first, asking why, if Xuanda is so pleased to have secured Kong Ming's services, he has lost all the lands around Jingzhou and Xiangyang. Kong Ming knows that Zhang Zhao is the most important of Sun Quan's advisors, and that unless he can convince him all is lost. He replies carefully, only to have Zhang Zhao accuse him of being nothing more than an irrelevant hermit, before whose arrival Xuanda was seen as the great hero. Now he is in flight, unable to protect his lands. Using the metaphor of treating a man who is seriously ill, Kong Ming rebukes Zhang Zhao. How can a simple bird understand the rock, who can fly 10,000 miles without tiring? When someone is ill, you first have to build up his strength with simple, plain food and medicine. Then you give him meat and more powerful drugs to bring him back to full health. Too much too soon will harm the patient. Yes, Xuanda was defeated at Runan and had to find sanctuary with Liu Biao because he had so few soldiers, in fact just 3 officers. Xinya was a stopping place, basic and without resources. But from there we destroyed Cao Cao's camps at Baoang. Then we flooded his army at the river, and finally we scared off his key generals. Not bad really. Xuanda didn't know about Lu Zong's disgraceful surrender, and was far too honorable to take advantage of that. He is, as you know, followed by a vast crowd of ordinary folk whom he refuses to abandon, even though it makes things far, far more difficult. What an example of his virtue. Remember, the founder of the Han dynasty, Gao Zu, was defeated many times, but eventually he overcame his great foe, aided by his advisor Han Xian. It's true Gao Zu and Han Xian weren't always successful. But then real success relies upon a grand vision and plan, not the usual nonsense that overconfident armchair generals and pompous academics spout who can't actually deal with the realities on the ground. That shuts Zhang Zhao up. But after him, one advisor after another rises to question Kong Ming. For example, advisor Xuezong raises the question of what Kong Ming thinks of Cao Cao. When Kong Ming replies that he is a traitor to the Han, Xuezong retorts that the time of the Han is fast drawing to its end and that, despite having been passed down the generations, it is now clear that heaven's mandate is being withdrawn. Cao Cao is in charge of most of the empire, and Xuanda's resistance is like an egg being thrown against a rock. To this Kong Ming replies sharply. You would spurn both your king and your father. Loyalty and filial piety are what should shape a man's life in his time here between heaven and earth. You're a servant of the Han, and if you see that someone is abusing his powers you must help to remove him. Cao Cao has turned from the kindness his ancestors received from the Han, and the respect he therefore owes to the dynasty, and has become nothing more than a rebel. This has infuriated everyone, yet you suggest that heaven has now decided he will be the ruler. In so doing you betray your father, and your king, and are no longer fit for the company of loyal men. That shuts Xuezong up. At long last, Kong Ming has dealt firmly with all the objections, and is rescued from the petty interrogation by Lu Su, who takes him off to meet Sun Quan. On the way they bump into Zhuge Jin, Kong Ming's brother, who is delighted and welcomes him to the south. But Zhuge Jin does want to know why King Ming has not been to see him yet. Saying that his public duties override personal ones, he promises to come and see him as soon as possible. As Lu Su and Kong Ming go in to see Sun Quan, Lu Su says, "Don't frighten him by reminding him how strong Cao Cao's army is." "Of course not," says Kong Ming. Sun Quan, after the opening formal greetings, goes straight to the heart of the matter and asks Kong Ming how strong Cao Cao really is in terms of his military forces. To Lu Su's astonishment, Kong Ming says, "If you add up cavalry, infantry and naval, well over 1 million men." Horrified, Sun Quan asks whether this is not an exaggeration, so Kong Ming tallies all the troops. "Actually it is nearer 1.5 million, but I deliberately understated so as not to scare your lordship," says Kong Ming. Lu Su is completely bewildered by this change of what he thought was an agreed tactic. Kong Ming continues, "He's heading this way, so what other plans could he have than to conquer the south? If you want my opinion, though you may find you don't like it, I believe you should abandon any thought of an alliance with Cao Cao, even though I know your advisors suggest otherwise. They, I know, just want you to face north and surrender." Overcome with indecision and anxiety, Sun Quan leaves in a flurry, and Lu Su rounds on Kong Ming, "Why on earth did you have to upset Sun Quan with such dismissive words?" "To be honest," says Kong Ming, "I have a plan to destroy Cao Cao, but as Sun Quan never asked me, how could I share it with him?" "If you have such a plan," says Lu Su, "then I'll tell Sun Quan." This he does, but Sun Quan is so furious with Kong Ming that he at first rejects any idea of listening to him, but he is eventually brought round by Lu Su. The two men, Kong Ming and Sun Quan, quietly apologize to each other, and, going into Sun's private quarters, they start to talk in earnest. "There were 6 foes of Cao Cao," says Sun Quan. "Lu Bu, Lu Biao, Yuan Shao, Yuan Shu, Xuanda and myself. The first 4 are now dead, and really only Xuanda can tackle Cao Cao, yet his current track record is not great, given so many defeats. Can he really resist? Guan Yu still has 10,000 men, and Lu Qi's men are about the same number," replies Kong Ming. "Cao Cao's men are exhausted, they have traveled vast distances, and moreover have no experience of naval warfare. Add to this that they've all been conscripted, and so have no heart for this either. Your linking up with Xuanda will further undermine such a demoralized force. You will then create a tripod, a 3-legged vessel of the state, with the south, Jingzhou, and the north." At these words, all Sun Quan's doubts disappear, and he finally agrees to join Xuanda in confronting Cao Cao. But his advisors are horrified and, led by Zhang Zhao, they argue furiously that such a course would be disastrous. Once again Sun Quan finds himself in a quandary of indecision. Despite Lu Su's efforts, Sun Quan is unable to make up his mind. Troubled, he visits his mother, who reminds him of her older sister's dying words. What are these words? Read on.